Hi, this is Curt and welcome to another edition of Fire Law Roundup.
Rid of them. So let's go to San Diego for the moment, where we have a child neglect suit. And listen, what happened here is horrible. They sound like, and I don't mean this lightly, they sound like Holocaust victims, the way they describe this. But these children were clearly horribly neglected, abused, beaten, starved, right? So just imagine these, and the issue that in San Diego happened is a chaplain in uniform of the department was visiting the foster care parents taking care of these children, and allegedly never reported it. Presumably he's a mandated reporter, I would imagine. As a chaplain, I don't think there's a privacy confidentiality concern, maybe if he was a priest, but probably not here as a chaplain. In any event, one of them dies and the others are so horribly malnourished, very dangerous conditions. But the San Diego gets sued, as well as many others, to the chaplain didn't visit, or visited and didn't report it.
I don't think he visited as a chaplain. I think he
did.
Well, I know they said he did. Okay. And that's the problem with complaints. But right. I think what it sounds like is he's a member of that San Diego Rock Church, which I'm not sure I understand exactly what the reference to rock is. But if it's music or if it's, a location. But point being, he somehow is affiliated with that church. He may have gone to the family's home in uniform, and maybe even while on duty, but doing work on behalf of the church. So again, not entirely clear. And I think we need a lot more information than what's in the complaint on this one. But what is tragic is now certainly the condition of the two children that survived, one that died, and the involvement of the fire department now in this because of what the chaplain did.
Right. And look, just because I may wear a Pinsky Law Group shirt to a fire doesn't mean that I'm an attorney at a fire, right? So who knows? Maybe that the question will be, what capacity was he there in? I couldn't figure out why the department would be going at all.
That's the only connection I can see. I didn't put all of the issues in the article, but if you read the complaint discusses the fact that he's a member of the church, and most of the people who had access to them, other than the police, were somehow affiliated with the church. And California has a very broad duty to report statute that extends to firefighters. And I once I saw firefighters, I didn't go beyond that, but I believe there may be some clergy in there as well. But at any rate, certainly firefighters in California, when you're aware of child abuse, you have an obligation. And is it on duty, off duty, and yeah.
Well, no, let's talk about that for a second. So off duty, at least in New York, there is a case, just because you're an EMT, let's say, who's a mandated reporter. Mm-hmm. If you're in the supermarket, not doing anything but shopping, and you see an abused child, right? Just because you're an EMT does not carry over you have to be acting in the capacity of an EMT to be mandated to report. So if he wasn't there in a capacity as a mandated reporter, right, was there as a chaplain who may be a mandated reporter, or was there as something, but not for the fire department. But if it wasn't there in that capacity, he then doesn't have that obligation, I would argue. I don't know what the law is in that state.
I'm looking at it right here, and it says a firefighter except for a volunteer firefighter. It also says an EMT and right. EMT 1, EMT 2, EMT paramedic.
But you still got to be acting in that capacity, I would think. At least in New York. So, right.